Viewers, we will begin tonight up front with an admission. A dangerous precedent is being set, and to expose that, we will begin tonight's show with hard facts. As you know, viewers, hard facts are the leitmotif of this show. Because with the hard facts, I bring you closer to the truth. And today, the truth matters more than ever. Viewers, India is perhaps one of the few countries in the world where the majority community feels the need to be insulated by anti-conversion laws. They, in fact, push for it by voting the BJP that actually wants to bring the anti-conversion law. Now, I'm not saying an overwhelming majority of Indians vote for the BJP. Don't get me wrong, viewers. But certainly, in the past and even now, they have voted for the BJP in some states, in some Lok Sabha constituencies. In fact, you could say a majority of them, because the BJP has promised to look after their interests. But why do they feel the need to push for an anti-conversion law? Because, viewers, forced conversions are part of the lived reality in this country. In this country, however, it must be said, and here are the hard facts, viewers. Here are the hard facts, that the right to convert, yes, viewers, the right to convert is not a fundamental right. This has been decreed not by Rahul Shivshankar or by Times Now, but by the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. And as the Congress party strikes down a very important piece of legislation in Karnataka that insulated Hindus and other dharmic traditions from the threat of forced conversions at the hands of Abrahamic traditions, it may be in order to go over what the Supreme Court has ruled, not just in 1977, but also, viewers, recently as last year, 2022. Now, viewers, let me jog your memory back. In the Reverend Stanislaus versus the state of Madhya Pradesh, that was the case of 1977, the Supreme Court ruled what Article 25(1) grants is not the right to convert another person to one's religion. Article 25, viewers, is of course freedom of religion. But Clause 1, the Supreme Court interpreted it as not to mean that there's an automatic right to convert another person to one's religion. And we are not talking right now about forced conversions, viewers. It allows, the Supreme Court said, to transmit or spread one's religion by an exposition of its tenets. So you can go out there and preach the tenets of your faith. But that doesn't mean that you are fundamentally have the right to call upon someone after having heard those tenets to convert to your faith. Article 25(1) guarantees freedom of conscience to every citizen. It should be left to the conscience of an individual as to what faith he wants to subscribe to. Article 25(1) postulates that there is no fundamental right to convert another person. If a person converts another person, it impinges on the freedom of conscience guaranteed to all citizens. This has been laid down by the Supreme Court. Now, if someone brings in a bill, viewers, to give expression to what the Supreme Court has said, what's the problem? But apparently there is. And not just this, the Supreme Court even recognized that forced conversions happen in violation of the secular spirit that is enshrined in the Constitution. In fact, in November 2022, when advocate and BJP member Ashwini Upadhyay, who is on this panel tonight, had filed a petition for a central anti-conversion law, the Supreme Court agreed that it was a serious issue deserving a hearing. And this is what, in an oral observation, the Supreme Court said in November 2022. That's not many months back, viewers, just about 6.5 months ago. It said, and I quote, "This is a very serious and dangerous matter. It is seriously against interests of nation. Everybody has the right to choose religion, but not by force or by giving some temptation," unquote. These are the words of the Supreme Court, viewers. Viewers, the dharmic faiths, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, have been subjected to the tyranny of forced conversions. All sorts of ruses and guises have been used to lure the adherents of these dharmic traditions from their beliefs. Here are just some examples. In Uttar Pradesh in June 2023, online gaming app was used to convert children. It resulted in 1 arrest, viewers. Ghatampur, Uttar Pradesh, November 2022, locals allegedly offered money and brides to convert. 2 pastors among 4 were booked for this alleged act. Sitamarhi, Bihar, 2014, Dalit family forcibly converted to Islam. 4 people were arrested there. And then, of course, Alirapur in Madhya Pradesh, a bid to forcibly convert 71 tribal children to Christianity. 10 were arrested, viewers. Recently in Dhammo, Madhya Pradesh, Hindu students allegedly forced to wear hijab. There was pressure on them to also accept the tenets of the faith. That is what the FIR alleges. And the FIR has been filed against the school, viewers. There are many such examples. I can go into several of them. And in fact, viewers, sometimes these conversions have even aroused passions amongst Hindu groups who have retaliated. Much violence has happened to resist these alleged attempts. But despite this reality, in clear public view and in total disregard of the interests of dharmic faiths like the Hindu faith or the Sikh faith, the Congress Sarkara in Karnataka has vowed to scrap the anti-forced conversion bill. The Congress says that the bill is anti-secular. It was brought in by the BJP to fearmonger among Hindus and consolidate them into a vote bank against Muslims. Listen in, viewers, to what the Congress has been saying.
See, the bill brought by BJP in 2022, that bill is going to be repealed now. And the bill what we are now bringing will be in tune with the provisions of the Constitution.
Because we feel that whatever they did, it is not in the interest of the democracy or secularism. So naturally, they have to protest. Whatever anti-people, anti-secularism provisions they have brought out, that will be definitely taken up.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास ना तो बढ़ती हुई बेरोजगारी का उत्तर है, ना बढ़ती हुई महंगाई का उत्तर है, ना लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में लगातार जो वो डेंट मार रही है उसका कोई उत्तर है। तो वो हर चीज का उत्तर पोलराइजेशन करने की कोशिश से उसका जवाब देते हैं। दिल्ली में यूसीसी की बात करते हैं, कर्नाटक में एंटी कन्वर्जन लॉ की बात करते हैं। वो सुबह से शाम हिंदू मुस्लिम करते हैं।
Well, while the Congress is criticizing, viewers, the BJP for its saffron agenda, it's conveniently forgotten its own history, that similar anti-conversion laws have been passed in several states, and some by non-BJP parties. Now, while, viewers, a majority of those legislations have been passed by the BJP, there are other non-BJP parties who don't really subscribe to the saffron outlook that the BJP does, supposedly. In Odisha, it was implemented in 1967. In Arunachal Pradesh, implemented in 1978. Here, there were non-BJP parties, viewers. Are those parties also, viewers, communal? Or were they just reacting to a reality? And here's more hypocrisy. Let's remind you how the Congress tried twice to pass a similar law in Madhya Pradesh when in power, and in Himachal Pradesh. In fact, in 2006, the Congress brought it, an anti-conversion law, and passed it. I'll take you back to 1954. Congress prepares the first draft of the anti-conversion law based on the B.S. Niyogi Committee recommendations. In 1958, it tries to pass that law through the state legislature. It was called the Freedom of Religion Bill, but it was rejected in the assembly. Apparently, they didn't have the numbers. Perhaps there were some Congress members itself who voted against it. In 63, the second draft of the Freedom of Religion Bill was rejected once again by the Madhya Pradesh House. But in 2006, Himachal Pradesh Freedom of Religion Bill was adopted under the Congress views. As we told you, it isn't as if the Congress is not aware of the threat that forced conversions pose. It raised an alarm. In 1954, in Madhya Pradesh, it set up the Niyogi Committee to probe the alleged mass conversions by Christian missionaries of backward class Hindus. Viewers, what was this probe about? To probe the alleged mass conversions by Christian missionaries, to probe backward class Hindus being converted to Christianity. Then at the center too, and I've told you, viewers, I'm going to give you all the facts. 3 attempts were made by members of parliament in their private capacity, even from the Congress, to move anti-conversion bills in parliament. But every time they hit a roadblock. Indian Converts Regulation and Registration Bill 1954, moved by Jethalal Hari Krishna Joshi, a Congress MP. It didn't pass muster. Backward Communities Religion Protection Bill 1960, moved by Prakash V. Shastri, an independent MP, again blocked. Freedom of Religion Bill 1971, moved by O.P. Tyagi, Janata Party MP, not passed. Janata Party MP, viewers, also. So you can see that there are other politicians that don't necessarily belong to the BJP ecosystem that felt the need to move this anti-conversion bill. So what is the problem? Viewers, let's open this up. This is very, very important. It's a very important subject. And I want to introduce you all to Ashwini Upadhyay. He's an advocate. He's been in the Supreme Court. First of all, Mr. Upadhyay, the Congress says that the bill that it is scrapping is against the principles of secularism. It's a communal legislation. So I want you to tell me what is communal about it. You are pushing a communal legislation at even the central level now. You would, by extension, be accused of the same crime. Ashwini ji.
राहुल जी, कन्वर्जन हो रहा है, कन्वर्जन पहले भी हो रहा था, अभी इसके तरीके बदल गए हैं, बहुत अलग अलग तरीके से हो रहे हैं। पहले कन्वर्जन कुछ पॉकेट्स में हो रहा था, अभी पूरे भारत में हो रहा है, ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से हो रहा है, और ये अभी हमने देखा जो गेमिंग के जरिए हो रहा था। हमने ये कहा था कि इंडियन पिनल कोड में ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन एक चैप्टर है, लेकिन ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू कन्वर्जन नहीं है। आज की डेट में किसी के रिलीजियस फीलिंग को हर्ट करना तो एक क्राइम है, सेक्शन 295 ए है, लेकिन किसी को धोखा देके, लालच देके, उसको हॉस्पिटल में इलाज का लालच देके, उसके बच्चे को स्कूल में एडमिशन का लालच देके, या उसको काला जादू दिखा के, या अंधविश्वास फैला के, या घुटना ठीक करने की बात करके, नपुंसकता, बाजपन, गरीबी, पता नहीं क्या क्या वादा करके जिस तरीके से कन्वर्ट किया जा रहा है, ये बहुत सीरियस है। और 14 नवंबर 2022 को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर में डिक्टेट किया है, वो ओरल नहीं है जिसको आप ओरल कह रहे हो, इनफैक्ट वो ऑर्डर में डिक्टेटेड है। ऑर्डर में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि इस तरीके का कन्वर्जन अगर हो रहा है तो ये नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए खतरा है। मैं तो ये मांग करता हूं देश की सरकारों से, ये कन्वर्जन नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए थ्रेट है, इसलिए कन्वर्जन कराने वालों के खिलाफ एनएसए लगाइए। ये कन्वर्जन भारत के कम्युनिटीज को फॉरेन रिलीजन में कन्वर्ट करना, भारत के लोगों को विदेशी मजहब में कन्वर्ट करना और उस मजहब में कन्वर्ट करना जो इक्वेलिटी में बिलीव नहीं करता, जस्टिस में बिलीव नहीं करता, जेंडर इक्वेलिटी को नहीं मानता, जो ये नहीं मानता, जो सर्वधर्म संभाव को नहीं मानता, जो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम को नहीं मानता, जो नारी तू नारायणी को नहीं मानता, उस रिलीजन में कन्वर्ट करना ये देशद्रोह है। इसलिए ऐसे लोगों के खिलाफ देशद्रोह की धारा लगना चाहिए।
ओके, वेल व्यूअर्स रिमेंबर,
ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से कन्वर्जन हो रहा है, इसलिए इनके खिलाफ गैंगस्टर एक्ट भी लगना चाहिए।
अच्छा, एक मिनट, ओके, तो you're making a further leap. Okay, let me bring in Mr. Sanket Yanagi, an advocate also. Let the advocates face off first. Now, sir, from the news reports that have appeared, what the Congress finds objectionable about the Karnataka anti-conversion law is that, and it wants this part to be expunged or withdrawn, etc., misrepresentation, fraud, force, any allurement or by marriage. What is the problem? If someone is trying to misrepresent themselves to convert you, it is going against the spirit of what the Supreme Court has said. The conscience of an individual. How can this be objectionable, Sanket Yanagi? Unless, of course, you are so hypothecated to a particular sensitivity of a particular vote bank, you're so dependent on that vote bank that they are today dictating the agenda.
So, good evening. I have a few points to make here. Also, I may be permitted at least 3 minutes uninterruptedly. Firstly, the problem in UP or the problem in Kashmir or the problem in Haryana or problem in Bihar will not give rise to a cause of action to prepare a draft or enact a law in Karnataka. Karnataka, to enact a law, should have its own problem, should have its own data, should have its own committee which suggests that, look, these are the problems, these are the data available, these are the cases and instances, so there is a need of the law. And based on the committee's recommendation, normally I'm saying, give me only uninterrupted 3 minutes, I'm not seeking more. So based on the requirement of the situation, which would be conducive for enactment of the law would always be enacted. For the problem in UP, it is not necessary to enact a law in Karnataka, which will not solve any problem in UP. For the problem which is not there in Karnataka, the law also cannot solve anything because there is no problem. So likewise, always one has to have the data, one has to have the committee, one has to have the recommendation of the committee, at least to have some common sense to understand the need of an hour to enact a law. So firstly, let them come up with the data. If there is a data, let them show the data. If there is a data available, let them show the committee recommendations. If there is a need, then definitely they are entitled to enact the law, which under the four corners of the Constitution, to see that.
One second, Mr. Yanagi.
No, let us understand another legal point.
Okay.
Because Mr. Ashwini Upadhyay made certain important aspects, which I need to rebut it now. So right to practice or profess any religion is a fundamental right. I can practice a particular religion of my own or I may not. It is up to one's choice. Similarly, right to practice any other religion of his own, other than his own, is also a fundamental right.
We are not talking about practicing the religion, sir. We are talking about... No, 1 second, please. You are confusing issues deliberately. Now, Sanket Yanagi, you are an advocate. You know what we are talking about. There's a distinction. There's a distinction between practicing your faith. There's a distinction between propagating your faith. And there is a distinction altogether about indulging in proselytization through forced means. You know this, Mr. Yanagi. Let's talk about proselytization through coercion, through forced means. Don't get stuck on the first two P's. And even let me tell you, sir, since you are an advocate, you are probably very learned, and I don't have the right to even try and second guess you on the law. But let me just give you a little fact which might have been overlooked by you. Why, I don't know. In the Stanislaus judgment, the word propagate has also been defined very clearly by the Supreme Court. The word propagate has been used in the article, the Supreme Court says, as meaning to transmit or spread from person to person or from place to place. The article does not grant the right to convert other person to one's own religion, but to transmit or spread one's religion by an exposition of its tenets. So you can stand there and tell people, look, my religion stands for these factors. But you can't say, now that I have told you, can you please sign on? So tell me something. Is it your case, sir? Just be honest. Is it your case that Karnataka has no record of forced conversions? Is that your case tonight?
No, that's not the submission, in fact. The submission is entirely different.
But you said.
No,
you said. Did you not say?
No.
You wanted 3 minutes. I'll give you 10 minutes. Is it your case that in Karnataka, there are no forced conversions? And if I show you certain facts.
I'm glad that you are giving me sufficient time to answer all the questions and queries, to occupy most of the space here, to clarify most of the aspects which are confusing here. Firstly, in Karnataka, I have pointed out there is no data available. There is no data placed before enacting the law.
No, sir, stop. There is data. I'm going to only first point to one example. No. Listen to me. You can't spread fake news here. I'm going to check you there. No. Because the whole. I'm just going to take you back. Sir, please. I beg you, sir. I beg you.
Let us not confuse the
I pray, sir, before you. No. I am going to have to cross-check what you are saying. This gentleman is saying, this advocate, who is sworn, viewers, to uphold the law, says there is no need for it because there is no data to suggest that there have been forced conversions. Now, let me point out, viewers, very, very important. In November 2022, 12 people were arrested for allegedly trying to convert tribals to Christianity in Karnataka. We will check for more.
Yes.
Okay, we will check for more. And this, sir, was being done through force. And this was done despite the existence of a deterrent in the nature of that law. So, Mr. Yanagi, you're wrong. There is data.
Can I answer that one by one?
Yes, please.
So you see, my point is on an entirely different footing.
You've changed the goalpost.
If you allow me to complete my sentence, you will have the clarity on all those things, and the viewer probably would have that.
Right.
So in Karnataka, we are not saying that the conversion is wrong or right. The question is freedom to profess or practice one's religion is fundamental right. The people are at liberty to have their own choices. But if it is through undue influence, if it is through force, if it is through allurement, then yes, there is a need of law to prohibit.
Then stop, because this is precisely the reason why we have an anti-conversion law in Karnataka, because allow me now, sir, please, you've had enough time. I need to go to the other panelists. I've exposed you. You've done a complete, you've completed your sentence. You suddenly have, what, is someone feeding you? Are you sitting there and being fed that after every 5 minutes you will then come out and speak something more? Please, you had your chance. Now let the others step in. Viewers, the reason why we have it in Karnataka is because to prevent conversion by misrepresentation, fraud, force, or any allurement, or by marriage. So there should be no problem. But the Congress has a problem, and I'll give you more statistics, viewers. It is dependent, highly dependent on a vote bank. And let me spin it out for you. Let me tell you, viewers, 70% of the Muslims voted for the Congress in Karnataka. 33% Muslim vote the Congress got nationally in 2019, viewers. And I'll tell you how that translates into seats in the Lok Sabha. Viewers, out of the 15 seats where Muslims are in a majority, that is 50% plus. I'm not even looking at 33 or 35 or 37 or 40. Let's go with a large number. In a Lok Sabha, 50% is a huge number, viewers. The Congress won 4 seats. Its allies together in these seats, viewers, won at least 4 or 5 more. The IUML 2, and of course, if you look at the UPA, then the NC, 3 of those, the NCP 1. So you can see, viewers, a substantial number of MPs from opposition parties which are allied to the Congress ecosystem are dependent on Muslim votes. And to placate, we have this issue. Subhrashtra, you are an observer of Indian politics. You are not allied to anybody. Can you tell me, what do you think possibly could be the reason why the Congress has a problem with this law?
The Congress has a problem with this law, Rahul, because very carefully has the Congress maintained a certain idea of secularism. And please don't get me wrong, I don't want to take any pot shots at any one particular leader, but this has been a problem of the Congress party ever since its inception. The brand of secularism that Mrs. Indira Gandhi practiced by slyly putting in the word secular in our constitution during the emergency is for all of us to see. Ever since that, there has been a steady decline in how Congress has really viewed the Muslims. I'm not going to mince words and I'm not going to use the word minority. It is particularly about the Muslim community. The way they have appeased the community, the way they have completely brushed everything that has been wrong with the community under the carpet and sort of glamorized and ensured that a certain version of the Muslim community is put forth in front of the people. That has exactly been its problem. And today, when a certain different and an alternative brand of politics has come into play, their sham and their charade has been torn to pieces. Now, how do they go about defending their brand of secularism? It is exactly by, getting into the, whenever they get a chance to get into the executive, like today they have in Karnataka, they can have a political sway over the executive. They do exactly that. Either remove the laws that were in place or put in laws that benefit one community over the other. So if you were
so
to
they do
ask
the opposite
me,
of secularism.
This is exactly the response that I
So
would
they
give.
abuse secularism. It's a selective secularism. That's what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay. So let me bring in Dr. Raman on this. Dr. Raman,
Yes.
selective secularism is what ails the Congress, and that is what is dictating its motives in scrapping this law.
Okay, Rahul, first of all, I think there was a lot of talk about data, and I can give you the data, Rahul. Between 2001 and 2011 census, the percentage of Hindus in Karnataka went up from 83.86 to 84%. So the percentage of Hindus actually went up in Karnataka vis-a-vis other communities. So this whole thing that Hindu Katre mein hai, there's massive conversion going on, doesn't stand to water. Now, the percentage of Muslims also went up, but again, marginally, like the percentage of Hindus went up. Now,
your
let's look
contradiction.
at the whole thing in perspective.
Right.
You mentioned 12 people were arrested. Were they convicted? In fact, therein lies the answer why the Congress government wants to repeal this bill. They wanted to ensure that the earlier, what was happening in the previous government, which they felt was unjustified harassment of minorities, was stopped. And that was the reason, in fact, they put it in their manifesto. In a way, Karnataka voted for the repeal. Perhaps it was not only for this that the people voted, certainly not, but it was part of the Congress manifesto. When they went to the election, they told the people of Karnataka, we are going to repeal this act, this bill. And that is what has happened. So I think that it is a bit thick to sort of, spin it in a big way that this is a threat to the Hindus and so on. The population of Hindus has gone up, and very important, sorry, one point that I want to mention again. There are adequate provisions even in existing laws which can deal with this problem. And that has been pointed out. Many of the other states have actually had police cases registered for attempts at forced conversion under various other sections of the IPC. So all of this is already happening, and I don't think that this repeal of what was seen as a law which minorities tended to fear would be something that we should actually look at a move against Hindus. I don't believe it is such.
Well, viewers, let me tell you, as far as convictions go, and this is important, in September 2022, Uttar Pradesh secured its first conviction. And that conviction also took about 2.5 years. The case that he is referring to, Dr. Raman, as I told you, is less than 7 months old. I don't know any wheels of justice in any part of this country that turns so quick. And if that were the case, we would be living really in a Shangri-La, where everyone would be getting justice. But nonetheless, I'm not going to... One second. Sir, you've said your piece. Let me bring in Mr. Nair.
How is the percentage of Hindus going
Mr.
up?
Nair, sir, are we going to use such a facile argument? Can you believe this, viewers? Even if one person's rights are being impinged...
How is it facile?
Excuse me.
Viewers
even if
believe
one person's... One second. Even if one person's rights are being impinged, viewers, even if one person's rights... I mean, you have today, viewers, allies of the Congress, the left in Kerala, that are saying that this is a menace to society. The Congress brought in legislation in Himachal Pradesh because it suited its purpose there. Let me bring in Mr. Nair here, the spokesperson of the VHP. Why are you, sir, protesting all of this? Gentlemen like Dr. Raman are saying there's nothing wrong in Karnataka. Hindu population is rising. Yes, Muslim population is also rising, but not alarmingly so. What's the big deal? Why are you spreading this Hindu khatre mein hai angle?
So Rahul, first of all, nobody is saying Hindu khatre mein. Let me tell, somebody rightly said, and I'll quote, one Hindu converted is not one Hindu less, but an enemy more. Now, Congress does not learn from its own mistake. It was merely wiped out from the political arena because of only this
one second, Mr. Nair,
now,
please. No, 1 second. If someone converts out of the faith, he doesn't become an enemy. Yeah. Please. You know, there are many reasons why people convert.
Enemy?
No, the problem is you don't become an enemy.
Forceful conversion or...
No.
See, listen.
Mr. Nair, that's...
Rahul, let me complete. Give me uninterrupted 2 minutes.
You must clarify.
Give me uninterrupted 2 minutes.
Yeah.
See... Yeah,
let's not be loose. You know, we've had a very educated discussion. Let's not be loose with our words tonight.
Because of
let us not be loose with our words tonight. Yeah. We'll do a disservice to the argument. I have brought facts. I have not brought rhetoric. So let's stick to the facts. Give me 2 or 3 reasons. Don't do a disservice to your own argument, sir. Please. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See,
nice.
First of all, if Congress is facing this defeats after defeats, it is only because of the appeasement politics. Okay. Here in Karnataka, Congress rode back to power only on the plank that they will ban Bajrang Dal. And now, post-elections, they are not talking about that. Now, conversion is a big menace. We say, and I quote, it is as good as waging a war against the nation. Why convert? And look at the plight of the people who already got converted or whose ancestors got converted. Now, here in see, and see what people, they always
let him finish.
Such a commission.
Dr. Raman, he might have thought what you were saying was idiotic, but he didn't interrupt you.
Mr. Ovesi, when he
don't be so condescending. He's saying that a forced conversion, that people who... No, hang on. He's saying... One second. Lower everyone's faders. Viewers, what he's saying, Mr. Nair is saying, he's clarified. He says that anyone who indulges in forced conversions, which is a crime, is waging really a war against the ethos of our dharmic tradition. And that's what he means. And I think there you have to agree. You've had an entire movie made on forced conversions, viewers. But that, of course, has been selectively banned also. There is a problem. The Congress itself has recognized it in different states. It has pushed for it at different points in time. But today it doesn't suit its outlook. So it has decided to scrap it. Viewers, a political party can choose to favor any one particular community and win an election on the back of that. But then don't say you're doing it in the name of secularism. Then you say that you're doing it in the name of selective appeasement. And that is certainly not, viewers, a plural tradition. Whether you're from the BJP or the Congress, I leave it at this.